guys, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nikki 1000th Time Reactions.
Where we react to a song after listening to it for our 1000th time.
We release 3 videos a day.
Every day.
So please hit that subscribe button.
And turn on post notifications.
So you don't miss out on all this great content. What are we going to listen to right now, Nikki?
We're going to listen to Don't Worry Baby by the Beach Boys. This happens to be one of my maybe top 3 favorite Beach Boys songs of all time. Yeah. I just love the sound of it and the harmonies. Now, if you're new to the channel, what we do on here is we like to listen to the song all the way through without stopping. And after we listen through it all, then we react and analyze it and go in depth with it afterward.
Sure. That way we can all listen together, sway to it, maybe bop our head
and
to
not
it.
Ruin the
intention of
the artist, you know?
And then we can talk about it afterwards. Before we move on, though, we wanted to mention, as we normally do, that we have another YouTube channel called Max and Nikki,
on which we perform oldies, tunes, jazz standards, and originals in that vein.
And we have comedy videos on there as well, if you're interested. But for right now, let's take a listen to Don't Worry Baby by the Beach Boys.
For our 1000th time.
Here we go.
I love that fade out.
Don't Worry Baby. Yeah, that fade out is interesting. It was almost, the rhythm section went away at the end there.
You know what I didn't realize before with this song is that there's barely any instruments on this. There's just the drums and the bass, which are, interestingly, those are in the middle and the lead vocals are all the way to the left.
Right, well, let's just mention, we're listening to the remastered 2001 version.
But I actually do think...
Stereo version.
Yeah, we're listening to the stereo version. But I think there was a stereo version released in the 60s.
Sure.
Along with a mono version. And I've heard it... Before I've heard it in stereo and where a speaker wasn't working, and I'm like, oh man, there's something missing here. You know?
Yeah, that happens.
I used to work as a server in this comedy club, and they would have a lot of the same tracks play all over and over again. This was one of them, and one of the speakers was busted, and there was always you couldn't hear the lead vocals being sung on this song.
That happened in my old car. Actually, one of the speakers was busted, and when a Beach Boys tune or even a Beatles tune sometimes would come on, and you'd either get the lead vocal was very low and you couldn't hear that well, or you couldn't hear it at all. Now it's kind of interesting.
I think this was one of Brian Wilson's earlier attempts at trying to emulate the Phil Spector Wall of Sound, because you can hear the rhythm section is really reverbed out.
Everything's reverbed out.
Everything is reverbed out, but that rhythm section is so reverbed out that it makes it seem larger than it is, and it makes it seem like there's more going on than there is. But really, it's just the bass and drums, and that one solo part, there's a guitar, but mainly it's just the vocals, bass, and drums. That's it.
That is guitar going clunk, clunk.
Yeah, that's got to be a guitar.
I guess that's a guitar. Yeah, I guess that is.
Maybe it's like a 12-string guitar, Well,
it sounds... It almost sounds... it's plucked. It seems like something's being plucked,
Sure. I actually think it's being done with this pick. But,
oh, you mean like... Yeah, I guess so. Maybe you're right.
But it does have that very Beach Boys sound. The
Beatles... John Lennon and Paul McCartney... Apparently, I was listening to an interview or reading an interview of I think Paul McCartney speaking about the Beach Boys and how they would, in England, sometimes they would listen to a Beach Boys record and they just thought, how did they get that sound? Their sound is just unique and it's unto them only. Nobody else sounds like them, the Beach Boys. And it's just, they have a certain quality in their voices and just...
Well,
and their production,
maybe
stuff.
Jan and Dean. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess Jan and Dean a little
Although
bit.
Brian Wilson,
but Brian Dean produced their stuff actually.
And wrote a lot of it.
But there is something in their production that, it does sound somewhat like, in this Phil Spector production, but there is still something very.
It sounds like
being
California '60s beach.
Well,
those
here's
are
the thing. The Beach Boys really created that. They're the ones that created that sound for us. That idea of what a California sounded like in a way.
Sure.
They're the ones that did it.
Sure. Yeah.
They're the first ones to start singing about surfing and stuff.
Well, but also, what's interesting is, I love this song. The lyrics are, I'm not huge into them. It's about like a race car driver essentially, or drag racer, and this girl saying she doesn't want him to drive essentially, but he's saying, "Don't worry, baby."
Uh-huh.
It's very kind of, sort of more elementary as far as lyrics go.
Well, it's a very, make you think of something that's very much of the time.
Yeah, obviously compared to the lyrics on, say, Pet Sounds, where there's more introspection.
Sure, but I actually I kind of like to, in my head, interpret "Don't Worry, Baby" in a different way. Actually,
okay.
I know he's talking about a car and everything, but I'm kind of just thinking more about the "Don't Worry, Baby" part. I think.
Okay,
and interpreting it in a different way.
It goes without saying that the harmonies on this song are immaculate, and
they are. It's just a really. I think that's what's so cool about this. The lead vocal and the harmonies on this side is
it's almost giving them equal weight.
In the middle, it kind of it almost gives the harmonies the same amount of weight as the lead vocal, and it helps you cut. It juxtaposes them in an interesting way.
Sure, yeah, and the harmonies, because the lead vocals are there and the harmonies are there and they're given equal weight, it makes the voices all almost sound like other instruments. Like it's adding to the the well-roundedness of the song and the fullness of the song.
Right, and they're not the vocals, as we said, are reverbed out, but not only that, they're not much louder than the instruments. They're
Sure.
I believe it's called English style production, where the vocals, as opposed to French style, I think French style vocals, at least at the time, tended to be very much up front, louder than everything else. Everything was very clear in a kind of intimate kind of a way. But English style was more kind of, was more part of the mix in a way, you know. If I'm correct about that, or one of my classes, I think my teacher said something like that.
But the Beach Boys are a huge influence on us, our the way we produce our own music and the way we do harmonies with our music, and so and this is a great example of that.
Sure.
And so.
Yeah, and I think
we'll definitely be revisiting the Beach Boys again soon
later on,
because there's a lot more.
Pet Sounds is our favorite album of all time,
or favorite pop album of all time.
Sure, one of them at least.
Yeah, one of them.
Anyway, I think that'll do it for this reaction video.
If you like what you heard and saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications to find out about more Max and Nikki reaction videos.
Please keep tuning in.